United States Soccer Federation presents the U.S. Soccer Podcast.
I'm your host, Megan Klingenberg. One thing I promised you is an all-access pass that you wouldn't get on any other show. And we found out that whoever comes on scores a goal. Burhope, Freeman, Trusty. U.S. Soccer Podcast magic is real, people. We still got plenty of coverage all throughout this World Cup. Okay, let's get into it.
The U.S. Soccer Podcast, presented by Henkel. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
It is 1 o'clock, the fourth and final hour, as I'm looking at one of our TV monitors, and the famed Florida State quarterback, the pride of Hueytown, Alabama, Jameis Winston, hanging out with the Argentina soccer fans as they get ready to take on England over in Hotlanta, coming up at the top of next hour, as Conrad's got a viewing party at his house. Are you going this afternoon? Are you bringing anything?
For the viewing party?
Yeah, at his house.
No.
You were on finger food duty.
I thought I had France, and now France has been eliminated. I was planning a big spread. We were going to have goat cheese and all kinds of crepes.
Well, that's funny because you weren't at my house yesterday either, Landrum. I was there by myself.
Were you?
Yeah, I was sitting there waiting. I was trying to watch the game, and I had one eye on the door waiting on you to walk in. And
do we have a TV outside?
We can move a TV outside.
When I watch World Cup involving non-American teams, I like to be in the pool.
Well, it was storming, so
That's
I don't know if I would have
it.
advised that.
I like the danger factor.
Yes, you do.
Appreciate a
for
good
the
bolt of
invite.
lightning.
Yes, you do.
Molly's
Molly?
upset. Well, Molly was busy yesterday. Her mom's in town. They're busy doing stuff. They don't have time for us.
I still appreciate an invite.
Yeah.
I would love for you and your mother to come to my house, Molly.
Thank you.
There you go.
Just like I'm
We're
like
busy,
Zach
but
Wheeler.
but thank
Yeah,
you for the
you-
invite.
Oh, I love it.
I'm like-
We're busy. Sorry.
I'm like
Can't
Zach
make it.
Wheeler. I'm like Harrison Butker. I just want the invite.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just don't want to be left out. But you
Yeah.
have no interest whatsoever in attending. You just
Well, it just depends on who else is going to be there. If it's a tight-knit group, I'm there. If it's the entire block,
some would say they're tight knit.
that would limit my bathing suit options.
That's true.
Oh, boy. Well, last night we had the Major League Baseball All-Star Game where the junior circuit took care of the senior circuit 4-0. Cody Bellinger named the MVP. He had first inning 2 RBIs. It was pitching, just a absolute clinic by the American League last night. 11 American League pitchers combined to allow 3 hits, struck out 15 National League batters. 10 different American League pitchers had a strikeout last night. The American League has dominated the All-Star Game in recent decades, winning 8 of the last 10 games, 10 of the last 13. The National League enjoyed an advantage in the early decades of the All-Star Game. They had an 11-game lead, Landrum, over the American League from 1972 to 1982.
And then I got erased.
The National League won 11 games in a row before the American League went on a 13-game unbeaten streak, 12 wins and 1 tie from 1997 to 2009. You remember the tie?
Yeah, that's hard to believe that
In
you have
Milwaukee.
all-star games. You have 11 and 13-game winning streaks.
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
Very streaky in the All-Star Game. So that was concluded last night. We mentioned in Atlanta, Georgia, they're getting ready for England versus Argentina. Yesterday, it was Spain shutting out France 2-0. Kylian Mbappe had no shots on goal, considered one of the best players in the world. The French people are just extremely devastated by the fact that he was shut out from a goal for the first time since the 2022 quarterfinals.
Yeah, if I'm France with that team, I'm bummed out too.
They were the odds on, like Vegas, like they were going to win it.
Well, I mean, the last World Cup, they made it to, I mean, they lost on penalty kicks.
They were the equivalent of Michigan basketball in this tournament.
They were really good.
And
And
anything
Mbappe had
short-
been the best player in the tournament.
Yeah, anything short of hoisting a trophy at the end is no good.
The champion of the
No
World
way.
Cup will earn $50 million.
No. 50.
$50 million. The runner-up will receive $33 million. Third place finisher, remember, there is a game. There's a consolation game. It'll be played in Miami. The third place winner will take home $29 million. The fourth place team will take home $27 million.
Okay, well, I was going to say, well, that's something to play for, but 29, 27. Yeah.
And if you're wondering and you're scoring at home, the United States took home $16 million. But they have to divide the $16 million
Yes.
equally with the women's team. So the men's national team will get $8 million. The women's team will get $8 million as they prepare for the Women's World Cup, which will be held next year in Brazil.
So does that just go to the players and the coaches? Do we know how that money is disseminated to?
They have a collective bargaining agreement.
Okay.
Very similar to like the Major League Baseball Players Association. So obviously they then divide it amongst themselves, whatever their, because remember that was the big stink. Remember the women's team wanted equal pay. They had more success than the men's team, but all these years, the men's team, they were being paid more than the women's team. And the women's team was winning World Cups.
So this is a serious question. Do we know, so whatever the women's team does, they'll probably do very well at the World Cup next year. Do they then split half of their winnings with the men's team? Okay, so
that is correct.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That's the way that it was worked out between those. So I was looking at a list because with all the Europeans coming over here and talking about, their soccer, and I understand that their stadiums are a bit smaller, so they might not have quite the revenue stream that we have in North American sports. But I am sitting here looking at the different European soccer clubs and their profit and loss. So let's just put this in perspective. The average NFL franchise, now this is on average. What do you think the profit is for an average National Football League franchise? I'm going to tell you it's over $100 million.
Okay.
I was going to guess $100 million.
Good start.
It's over $100 million.
The average, $115 million.
$136 million.
$200 million.
$151 million.
Ooh, that's pretty good.
That is the average NFL franchise profit. The highest when it comes to a European soccer club is Inter Milan at $96 million. Real Madrid, $85 million. FC Barcelona, $81 million. Bayern Munich, $48 million. Liverpool, $31 million. The Arsenal, $22 million. AC Milan, $18 million. And Manchester City, $3 million. Those are the only European soccer clubs that turn a profit.
Wow.
Now, let me go back. Every National Football League franchise makes on average $151 million. And according to this list that I'm looking at, that is only 7 European soccer clubs that turn a profit. Manchester City, $3 million, and then the highest is Inter Milan at $96 million. That kind of blew my doors off, to be honest with you. Well, I was very shocked by that.
It made me pull up the college athletics valuations, the last ones we got for the 2025 fiscal year, and trying to see how that equates.
How many colleges would be above those soccer teams?
Yeah. As far as revenue. But I want to make sure these numbers are right because early returns would say that private equity might be a way to go when it comes to athletic departments if you're able to purchase them.
Yeah. So Manchester United, that's where Mary went, right?
Yeah.
Manchester United. They are $24 million in the red. And these are numbers based on the 2025 season.
So they're the University of Washington Athletic Department.
Correct.
A little worse off.
You've got a couple in France that are $34 million.
Do they have a Save Premier League bipartisan bill?
Perhaps.
So we can share some of the revenue of these fiscally responsible clubs with the ones that have overspent?
You've got Tottenham Hotspur. They're $67 million in the red. Aston Villa is $116 million. How about this one? Chelsea in the Premier League, $346 million in the red.
And they got Tad Niblett. He's going to get it turned around.
And based on this information is earnings before interest and taxes. Earnings are after player trading and include the sale of assets, such as Newcastle was sold for $167 million.
The beer?
No, the soccer team.
Oh.
So that just surprised me. I know that the fandom is as much as NFL and college football is here, but this is a money-making industry, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when you're sitting there and Inter Milan makes $96 million and Real Madrid $85 million, FC Barcelona $81 million, and then there's a huge drop-off after that. I mean, then it's down to $48 million, $31 million, $22, $18. Just odd to see that. I figured that it would be up there, anywhere between $75 and $100 million. Did not think it would be anywhere near the NFL, but still, just shocked.
No. It's very surprising. Some of the other things that we see around the world that are very surprising, they're good, they're bad, the worst thing I've seen, coming up next.
It is 1-15-205-834-9450. That's the number here to Three-Man Front. If you've noticed cracks in your walls, uneven floors, or moisture building up in your crawl space, don't wait until this small problem can become a major expense. You need to contact the foundation and moisture protection experts at Deep South Construction Pros. Deep South is family-owned company, Alabama roots, specializing in foundation repair, waterproofing, crawl space encapsulation, and moisture control. Whether it's wood rot, mold, settling foundations, or water intrusion, their experienced crews fix the problem at the source and protect your home for the long haul. What sets them apart? Honest answers, fair pricing, Southern hospitality on every job. That's DeepSouthConstructionPros.com. That's DeepSouthConstructionPros.com for foundation repair and moisture protection you can trust. Go to their website, DeepSouthConstructionPros.com.
We see good, we see bad. We've seen something bad. This is the worst thing that I've seen.
This is the worst thing I've seen.
Been in quarantine and I need to get out and party. Woo! What's better than beach and a few drinks and Jeeps? Man, getting better than that. Law enforcement's definitely made their visitability and made people chill out and not be as crazy. The cops are doing their job as long as they don't be mean to people who are actually being innocent. Then I'm all gravy, baby.
All right, we take you to the world of education into the great state of Florida. Two principals of Lake County charter schools finding themselves in some hot water. Jennifer Jimenez, 41 years of age, Christina Alcaide at 45, were traveling together when Jimenez, who was appointed principal at Pinecrest Academy Tavares in April, was pulled over just after 2 a.m. after police caught her swerving a white Jeep into the opposite lanes. They're in Florida. According to an arrest affidavit, at one point, police said Jimenez drove her car over a curb and, though driving south, veered into the northbound lane before police pulled her over. The Jeep belonged to her friend, the other principal, Alcaide, who police said was in the passenger seat, and told them they had left a restaurant where they had had several drinks and they were poured heavy. Video released by the Claremont Police Department showed the two women struggling to show the officer a photo of Jimenez's license, which they said was Alcaide's phone. The officer eventually asked Jimenez to step out of the car, noticing that Alcaide repeatedly responded to questions directed at Jimenez. It's not every day that I have a passenger do more talking than the driver, the officer said. She's worried about me, Jimenez said. The officer replied, well, I am too. Jimenez was described as walking very unsteady and choppy. After she was asked to step out of the car, she staggered, swayed, and she attempted to stand still. After declining to perform a sobriety test, she was handcuffed and taken into jail. You ask, okay, well, what about Alcaide, her friend, the other principal? She served as the principal at Pinecrest Lakes Academy since 2017. They said, you're too drunk to drive. We're going to get you a ride share. So she gets the ride share. Police park the Jeep in a nearby lot. Everything's good, right? No, not good. Around 5 a.m., however, the arresting officer was told Alcaide was seen driving in Claremont and then drove by and noted the Jeep was no longer in the lot. Alcaide, who police said was slurring her words, unsteady on her feet when Jimenez was arrested, had returned to the scene, retrieved the car, only to be stopped about a mile away. She was arrested. Video of the arrest showed the tearful principal telling police she understood she wasn't supposed to be driving, but she was attempting to get $2,000 from an ATM to post bond for Jimenez.
It's a good friend right there. Not a smart friend, but a good friend.
As charter schools, 2 campuses publicly funded, run by private groups. Pinecrest Academy Governing Board, which oversees more than a dozen charter schools, said that, well, they didn't say anything. They have not responded. I don't know really how you respond to that.
I'm just putting myself in the shoes of if you're a student at one of those schools and you find this story, I would assume they're going to end up having to resign or being pushed to resign. Mm-hmm. The field day that students would have with because kids are mean, man.
Yeah.
You're not dodging this
general.
one. Yeah. But yeah, that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate to say the least. We have time for another?
Yeah, I think we do.
Another story? So this is something that went mega viral over the weekend. If you've been on social media at all, I'm sure it's been on national news as well. But if you haven't seen this, you can Google it. It'll be the first thing that pops up. Just Google bison or bison attack, and you will find this. But back on Friday, if you haven't seen the video, there was a video that came out from Yellowstone where an elderly man was charged and attacked by a wild bison while with one of his grandchildren. And fortunately, he did suffer some injuries, and we'll get into that in a minute, but we know that he is okay now. It's a very unfortunate accident. It is a highly entertaining video at the same time. I can't lie.
That's fair. Knowing that he's okay.
Yes. We're talking serious airtime on this attack from the bison.
You've watched rodeos and the rodeo clowns, and how some of them have been thrown up in the air. I've never seen one go that high.
No, ragdoll is the best way you could describe
like a
it.
feather.
It is. Yeah, I know, absolutely. And it just shows you how terrifying something like a bison can be when out in the wild. Well, we have more details on the incident that, again, happened last Friday night at the Bridge Bay campground in Yellowstone National Park. So the man that was attacked by the bison, his name is Carl Isom McDaniel. He is now recovering from multiple broken bones that he suffered in the incident. He was there with his grandson, who you can see in the video, while being attacked. Thankfully, though, he was in good spirits after officials responded to the scene, reportedly joking, cracking funny comments about the incident once he knew that, yes, he had some broken bones, but he was going to survive and be okay. So he, quote from one of the photographers that was on the scene there, he said, quote, Mr. McDaniel was in a lot of pain with his leg, but otherwise was conscious the whole time and in good spirits, making jokes about the entire incident. So we now know the man that was attacked, he's a retiree in his mid-60s. He was visiting Yellowstone with his family from Kendall, Washington, where he is from. He is well known in his community there. He serves on the Water and Parks Commission, and he's the chairman of a local community newsletter.
He looked like a big dude.
In Kendall, Washington. Yeah, he's definitely a little bit bigger guy. He's got a Santa Claus beard kind of thing going as well. But according to reports, he did not do anything because the video is only like a minute long. Mm-hmm. But according to people that were there and onlookers, they didn't do anything to provoke the animal. It was simply a case of being in the wrong place at the wrong time, and it's a wild animal.
I want to go to Yellowstone. I do not want to be a part of one of these stories, obviously. But do you not carry, for anybody who's been, I don't know, do you not carry repellents, bear spray?
We did.
I don't know if that helps.
We did at Yellowstone
with a bison?
and at Glacier because they're everywhere.
I would think so. But
other than that, what are you supposed to do?
Run for your life. Like he did, and it didn't work.
Mm-hmm.
Are you supposed to run?
Are you supposed to run? Because then you will have animal experts that say then they view you as prey. Mm-hmm. But
you don't do that with a bear.
I'm also not.
No, you don't climb a tree either.
I'm also not going to play chicken with a bison. So I don't know what you do. Do you you just ball up?
Is it like a bear? Because with a bear, you're supposed to make yourself big and like growl at them to make
and then when they come after you, better hit the ground and get in a ball.
It says
like
to
Leonardo DiCaprio in The Revenant.
Slowly back away because you should not run. The running can trigger their case instinct and make them charge. It's highly likely if you do that.
Okay, good call,
According
Pat. Don't
to
run
Google.
for your life.
What about skipping?
And find cover. You should also find cover.
They might enjoy that. They might be entranced by that. But we do have some animal experts that seem to know why the attack ultimately happened. So based on reports, this same bison had actually been a problem for several visitors in the days leading up to the attack on Friday. And it's because mating season is now beginning for bison. And so he is believed to be all testosteroned up and I guess more likely to to go and attack the visitors. But apparently there was a group of small teenage boys a few days prior who were charged at by the bison, but thankfully they were able to scatter and get away from the animal while it calmed down and did not continue.
Let's be honest. They're teenage boys. They were being annoying.
Probably so. That is probably the case. But yeah, apparently right after the attack.
What?
I'm sorry. There's just a still image of him in the air.
Suspenders kept his pants up, though.
It's wild. You feel bad for him, but it's truly one of those.
The fact that he didn't snap his neck is a miracle from God.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's no doubt about that. So you can see they were taking pictures of the animal, and after that is when the attack happened. But he has a few broken bones. He's recovering well, and it seems like everything's going to be okay. For a follow-up on the bison, though, according to park officials there at Yellowstone, there is not going to be any action taken. People were calling for it to potentially be euthanized or, for being an aggressive bison. It's a wild animal in its natural habitat. Stuff like that's going to happen. But according to officials, nothing's going to happen with the bison. They're just going to, obviously try to keep a closer eye on it and make sure that maybe visitors are discouraged from approaching it, taking pictures, things like that, because this has now happened.
Well, there are people that are victims
times
of this out at Yellowstone every single year, but it's because they don't follow the signs. They don't follow. This looks like that they were doing everything the right way.
Yeah.
And it just happened to be they had a bull that was in heat or looking for a mate that was in heat.
Yes. Yes. So the last comment from Mr. McDaniel, he had a broken femur, by the way. That's what it ultimately was. And he had surgery to repair that injury over the weekend. But he said, quote, when I was on the ground immobile, unable to move, the bison was right on top of me. He could have stomped on me, could have gored me. He could have done almost anything to take my life, and thankfully he did not do so. So all in all, a very lucky incident. Could have been a lot worse. A bad situation, but could have been a lot worse. And he's going to be able to recover from his injuries. And
imagine the grandkids.
Just don't run from bison. Yeah,
that's the story you tell.
Grandpa, can you tell that story again?
You ever go to Yellowstone? Oh, did I ever?
Well, I just thought it was funny because people were going like, one of their takeaways was, can you imagine? Because he's in a Ryan Fitzpatrick Dolphins jersey. It's like you're just there in a Ryan Fitzpatrick jersey watching your grandfather get flung in the air by a bison. You'll certainly remember that story forever. But that was a big story over the weekend. If you have not seen the video,
it's actually fitting. That's what
Fitzpatrick
did late in his career.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, a crazy story there out of Yellowstone over the weekend.
All right. Well, glad everybody's okay.
Well, we hope you're okay because we know that the Alabama heat and humidity can be brutal, but don't let it affect your home and family. Keep them comfortable with an affordable Trane cooling system recognized as America's most trusted brand for 12 consecutive years. You can rely on a Trane, so go and find a specialist near you at Trane.com.
A lot of your texts and questions from Pat. Pat ponders. It's always fun.
We do have a little baseball news on the college front. This is interesting. According to a report from Baseball America, the NCAA Rules Subcommittee has approved the use of ABS for games in the 2027 college baseball season where the technology is available. As we all remember, the SEC became the first conference to utilize ABS in the SEC baseball tournament in Hoover. And so now it's up to the Oversight Committee. They will have to give the final approval, but this is big. The NCAA Rules Subcommittee, they have approved the use of ABS starting in 2027 in college baseball.
Yeah, no coincidence. We had it here in Hoover, right? As a great testing spot. The laboratory, if you will. 5 questions from Pat. We have no idea what he's about to ask. This segment is one we call Pat Ponders.
I want to know what you're thinking. Tell me what's on your mind.
It's time for Pat Ponders.
All right, question number 1. Major League Baseball is still considering the 2028 Olympics for its players. And if they suspend the season around the games, they're considering harsh punishments for those that don't play if you're selected by your country. Players could potentially face a 3-week suspension for Major League Baseball if you're chosen by your country to play and you decide you don't want to play. That's part of the negotiations going on between MLB and the Players Association. So the question is, should Major League Baseball players lose pay and service time if they decline to play in the Olympics, or is that too harsh?
No, I think absolutely. You're rewarded handsomely to get to play a game that you love. And if you're selected, I look at it like if we still had a draft, or we ever had a draft and you were called into service, I know that this is not war. But you are representing your country. And the last time I checked, according to the World Baseball Finals, World Baseball Classic, we're not the reigning champions. So, yeah. 3-week suspension, no game checks.
And your service time stops.
Yeah.
It's paused.
It's harsh, but I'm kind of with you, Landrum. I think if you're going to get the honor of being asked to play, that now if you're injured or something, yes, obviously you should be allowed to not, to withdraw without consequence, I think. But yeah, we want our best out there. We want our best and brightest, just like you said in the World Baseball Classic. First off, a lot of the superstars don't have a problem in playing in that, so you shouldn't have a problem playing in the Olympics. And we kind of need to go out there and flex our muscle a little bit. So I know they don't do the same thing in basketball, but it's when we kind of had that downturn in Olympic basketball, and you had all the big names that said, you know what, we need to do this because we need to show everybody that American basketball is the best in the world, and they were, just like we need to do with baseball. So yeah, make them play.
I mean, I'm all for them playing, but I think it's a little harsh. But that's just me personally. Because like Landrum said, this isn't war. This is, the Olympics. Now, you should want to represent your country, and like what Conrad said, we are not the reigning champions of the World Baseball Classic or anything. So, that would be a huge honor that I think most would be willing to accept. But I think that much of a penalty is just a little
It would have to be extenuating, like injury,
injury or things like that. Then that's fine.
Ill loved one, family situation going on where you.
But
need
would
to
you be
there.
in favor of them being punished at all?
Maybe something, but not all of what you just said.
3 weeks?
Yeah.
I think that's the only thing that gets their attention.
Well, see, and the reason why it's 3 weeks is because they're talking about they would stop the season for 3 weeks. You would have an all-star game in San Francisco, then it would stop for 3 weeks. And then everyone that was playing in the Olympics would go down to Los Angeles and play. Everybody else would be at home or doing their own workouts, go to their own stadium, whatever, just to stay in a routine. Mm-hmm. And so that's why they would suspend you 3 weeks. Because if you're not willing to give 3 weeks of your time for your country, then they're going to suspend you 3 weeks and you're not going to get paid.
Like everyone else that's not participating.
That makes sense.
I don't mind that. I don't like the fact that you could get suspended more for not playing in the Olympics than for cheating and winning a World Series like the Astros.
Question number 2.
They didn't get anything.
Mm-mm.
Former Irish head coach Brian Kelly recently had a message for those in South Bend, Indiana. Quoting now, he said, "I want our fans to know, the Notre Dame fans, that I'm 100% supportive of what they're doing." End of quote. Kelly has more wins than any other coach in Irish history, more than Knute Rockne. Should Notre Dame fans appreciate everything Brian Kelly accomplished, or will the way he left always overshadow his success?
No, I think that they should appreciate what he accomplished. Somebody having career aspirations or wanting to go, and he thought the SEC was ultimately going to bring him that national title, you should appreciate it, because I remember when Brian Kelly took over that program, where that program was teetering, and it was on the serious cusp of irrelevance. I went from watching Notre Dame win a title in '88 to the Bob Davie, the Ty Willingham, give me some of the other Charlie Weiss, some of those years where it went from being great at the apex to down on the floor. So, yeah, I think they should appreciate everything that Brian Kelly did.
You appreciate him for keeping you relevant, or I guess in some ways bringing you back to relevance. I do think, though, you're always going to be mad the coach spurned you for another opportunity, because you're going to go, oh, well, they're better than us, and we weren't good enough for you, and we gave you everything. I think at the same time, with a school like Notre Dame and the history of it, you never won a national championship there. In fact, every time you got your team on a national stage, you kind of got embarrassed. Mm-hmm. And I think from that standpoint, you would not have the type of reverence for Brian Kelly that he maybe would want or you would get at another program. So I'm kind of split on it. I think you can be appreciative that he kept you relevant, but at the end of the day, you're not going to hold him in the highest of regards.
Right, that was my first thing. He didn't win anything at Notre Dame, so, I mean, yeah, he kept you relevant, but, I mean, he left for another school.
Well, he's won as many titles as Marcus Freeman has.
That is true.
That is true.
But Marcus Freeman, not as long in the tooth.
Right.
Final question of today comes courtesy of BB. She writes, a plan to auction more than 100 artifacts salvaged from the Titanic is facing pushback from the U.S. government. Georgia-based RMS Titanic, the company that owns the exclusive salvage rights, wants to sell the artifacts despite previous agreements to only display them at museums and traveling exhibitions. The government contends such a sale would violate a legal obligation. The salvage company has tried for years to sell artifacts only to be repeatedly shot down. So the question BB writes is, should artifacts from the Titanic be preserved strictly for museums and exhibitions? If you had a chance to buy something that was salvaged from the Titanic, would you?
1,000% yes. I was obsessed with the Titanic when I was a kid.
You want the handcuffs that they put Jack in.
I'll take whatever.
In the boiler room.
Yeah, and I know I want his art book.
Yeah, because you're a weirdo.
I'm sure.
No, in all seriousness, no. If I had the money and I could afford artifacts or an artifact from the Titanic, I would be all about that. I loved that.
Would you have let
when I
Jack
was a
draw
kid.
you?
Only if I'm like one of his French girls. But no, I thought that was very cool. I would see that's where the conflict comes in, because I would personally, selfishly love to be able to own a part of that history, but I do also think that there is something about keeping it preserved for exhibitions, museums, and not allowing it to go for public sale.
Yeah, someone who's not going to have the money to purchase any of these, put them in the museum.
I would say keep it preserved, but that's just me. I don't know. I think I'd be too scared to own something that valuable or breakable that's been, underwater for how long? I'd be too scared to.
Keep it in the museums.
Keep it in the museums?
Keep it in the museum. Now, if I had the money to buy one of these things, I'd have a totally different opinion.
Well,
but
yeah.
keep it in the museums.
Yeah.
What's the necklace? The diamond? The Hope Diamond? What is it?
Oh, the something of the sea.
Heart of the sea.
Heart of the sea.
Diamond of the sea. Something
The
like
sweet
that.
little old lady.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My heart will go on.
That is today's Pat Ponders. But before we run to our next commercial break, we have got breaking news. Let's send it over to the breaking news desk, where a very giddy Conrad Van Order, despite Don Don's newsletter this morning, he's got some breaking news.
Thank you, Pat. Suck it, Don Don. Cedric Simmons, the wide receiver committed to the Auburn Tigers, has officially flipped his commitment to the University of Alabama. 5'10", 195-pound receiver from Selma High School, led the state of Alabama in receiving yards as a junior last year, over 2,000 receiving yards. He now commits to the University of Alabama.
But Don Don told us that Auburn didn't want him.
Well, yeah, he's not any good, apparently.
He's not. He's terrible. He's awful.
He's trash. Didn't want him.
So the flip that had
It was a pity commitment for Auburn.
It was.
that had been rumored for the last 24, 48 hours has now come to fruition. The class of 2027 wide receiver Cedric Simmons has flipped from Auburn to Alabama.
Make room, the Wildcat champion.
Yes, he's going to have handprints one day.
Yes.
I do think, in all seriousness, like I said, when Don Don made the phone call, though, just my opinion on that strikes me as we're not getting Monchon Sales on Friday, so we need to pivot and go and add a different wide receiver.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
He was a good second option in their opinion.
All right, that's the breaking news. Tomorrow on the program, we'll talk to Rodney Orr, as Rodney will give us the very latest on this flip that Conrad just told us about. That's huge for Alabama's 2027 recruiting class.
Yeah, that's good for Alabama. What does that mean for Monchon Sales? Because I remember Indiana was the team to beat. Is that still the team to beat? Have they promised him Bloomington? I'm guessing. But we talked to him about that, and we'll talk to Rob Pate and get his thoughts as Auburn inches closer to the start of the season, and there'll be a lot to talk about when fall camp begins.
Yeah, and we'll also day 2 of ACC spring. It's not spring. It's almost fall.
It's still spring in the ACC.
Yeah, fall ACC. It will be their Football Media Days Day 2 from Charlotte. So we'll go over all of that. This is 3-Man Front on Jocks.
Scrolling with Haley.
I am Haley Carania. I scroll with the homies here in the live chat because there's a lot to scroll through on X, on Instagram, on TikTok.
Cutting through the clutter, one hot take at a time.
Love seeing you all in the chat before the show. I tried to jump in just a few minutes before to say hello. I love the chat interaction. Thank you for helping. But I do it to get all of the videos and all of the content that you won't find anywhere else.
Scrolling with Haley.
Just search that up and I will be there.
Follow and listen on your favorite platform. Scrolling with Haley.
I am Haley Carania. I scroll with the homies here in the live chat because there's a lot to scroll through on X, on Instagram, on TikTok.
Cutting through the clutter, one hot take at a time.
Love seeing you all in the chat before the show. I tried to jump in just a few minutes before to say hello. I love the chat interaction. Thank you for helping. But I do it to get all of the videos and all of the content that you won't find anywhere else.
Scrolling with Haley.
Just search that up and I will be there.
Follow and listen on your favorite platform.